The first Catholic Mass in the Philippines, held on March 31, 1521, is a landmark event in the nation's history. It marked the introduction of Christianity to the archipelago, a faith that would later become central to Filipino identity. This moment occurred during Ferdinand Magellan's expedition, which sought to circumnavigate the globe and establish Spanish influence. The Mass symbolized not just a religious ritual but the beginning of profound cultural and societal transformations under colonial rule.
The Limasawa Claim. The island of Limasawa in southern Leyte is widely recognized by historians and institutions like the National Historical Commission of the Philippines as the official site. This conclusion stems from the detailed accounts of Antonio Pigafetta, Magellan's chronicler, who described anchoring at an island called Mazawa. Pigafetta's journals note the celebration of Easter Sunday Mass, attended by Magellan's crew and local leaders. Geographic details, such as the island position relative to other landmarks like Homonhon and Cebu, align closely with Limasawa's location.
The Butuan tradition. Contrasting this is the Butuan city claim in Agusan del Norte. Our local tradition ushers the Mass offered in Asao. Advocates argue that Pigafetta's reference to a river in a king match. Butuan's terrain and historical prominence as a colonial trade hub. The Butuan tradition, rooted in oral history in early 20th century scholarship by Pedro like Trinidad Pardo de Travera, insists the event took place near the Agusan River. A monument in Butuan commemorates this narrative, bolstering in cultural significance.
Pigafetta's journal remains the primary source, but interpretations differ. Rowling Masawa scholars highlights his use of the name Mazawa and coordinates from navigator Francisco Alvos Lagbo, which placed the expedition near Limasawa. Conversely, Butuan supporters emphasize Pigafetta's description of a larger river and gold-rich kingdom, features absent in Limasawa but present in Butuan. These discrepancies reveal how geography and translation challenges complicate historical analysis.
Archaeological finding. Archaeological adds nuance but no defining answers. Limaosan has yielded 16th century European artifacts, including porcelain and material fragments, suggesting early contact. However, none directly linked to the Mass. Butuan, famed for its ancient balanghay boats and pre-colonial relics, lacks physical proof of the Mass, but understanding its historical importance as a center of trade and governance. Both sites highlight different facts of the Philippines' colonial and pre-colonial past.
The role of institution in 1998. A government panel reviewed evidence and endorsed Limasawa, a decision reaffirmed in 2020 after renewed debates. The NHCB stands on a scholarly consensus, but Butuan local government and cultural groups continue lobbying for recognition. This tension reflects broader struggles between institutional authority and grassroots historical memory, where official narratives often clash with regional pride.
For Limasawa, the recognition is a source of national pride and the reason. For Butuan, the claim is tied to identity, with the Mass symbolizing their ancestors' early interaction with global forces. Both narratives, whether historically or not, serve as cultural touchstone, illustrating how history is weaponized or romanticized to form communal legacies.
Educational challenges. The debates introduce how schools track textbooks now mentor board games, encouraging critical thinking. But educators face the dilemma of presenting
consistent facts without confusing students. The scenario mirrors global historiographical debates, how the balance written records with oral tradition and whose voice dominate historical discourse.
Unresolved questions. Why does this debate persist centuries later? Partly because history is never certain. Evidence or interpretation can shift perspectives. Additionally, the mass represents more than a religious fact. It embodies colonialism's thought, making its commemoration politically and emotionally charged. For critics, the fixation of first is overshadowing indigenous histories that predate European thought.
Conclusion. Embracing complexity rather than viewing the Limasawa Botokan as a debate rivalry. It's more productive to see it as a reminder of his history, layered nature. Both sides offer valuable insight into the Philippines' past, from maritime exploration to cultural exploration. The first mass, wherever it occurred, remains a vital moment in the nation's story. One that invites reflection on how we remember, contest, and learn from history. By preserving both narratives, Filipinos honor not just a history.